Okay, so we started out with what's a Fraggle. Now that we know what a Fraggle is, now that Auntie remembers what a Fraggle is, we can find another couple books. So how about Waggleby of Fraggle Rock? Let's do this one next. What is Waggleby all about? Let's see. Okay. Ooh. Laundry. That is what Boober Fraggle loves to do when he is not sitting around thinking about germs, falling rocks, and the end of the world. Boober, you see, is a worrier. He does not know it yet, but just inside his laundry basket is a brand new worry. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Okay. One blue sock, another blue sock. One brown sock, another brown sock. One yellow ear. Yellow ear? Cried Boober. Yipes! What's that little guy? Boober did not wait around to find out what he had just hung up on his clothesline. Help! He shouted, running to the great hall to sound the alarm. In an instant, thousands of Fraggles had gathered around. Boober's closest friends, Gobo, Wembley, Moki, and Red, made their way to the front of the crowd. What's the matter? Asked Moki. Doom, gloom, yellow ears. Boober was so excited he couldn't even talk straight. Boober, take it easy. What has yellow ears? Asked Red. Laundry, hanging, yellow ears, Boober shouted. You'd better show us what you're talking about, said Gobo. Boober led his 4 friends back to his cave. Gobo, the bravest, went in first. It's a cave creature, said Gobo. What's a cave creature doing here? Moaned Boober. It's come to visit you, said Moki, and cave creatures just don't visit anyone. You should be honored. He sure likes you, added Red. Look at his tail wagging. Thump, thump, thump. He's so cute. Why don't you give him a name? Said Moki. I don't want to give him a name, said Boober. I don't even want to let him stay. The cave creature licked Boober's face adoringly. Yuck, said Boober. Wetness and germs. Thump, thump, thump. There goes that tail again, said Gobo. Maybe you should call him Wags or Wagger, suggested Red. How about Waggleby? Moki said. It's got a nice ring to it. Sounds good to me, said Wembley. Let's leave Boober and Waggleby alone so they can get to know each other better, suggested Gobo. Wait, Boober begged. Don't go. But it was too late. He already left. Huh. Swoof, swoof, barked Waggleby as he began to explore the cave. First he found Boober's collection of lucky stones. He left no stone unturned. Then he went for Boober's hats. Oh no, not my hats, Boober cried. Waggleby chewed through Boober's red beret, his green fedora, and his bright blue beanie. But then Waggleby tugged Boober's freshly washed face and best-loved scarf from the line. Boober had to take action. Give me my scarf, he shouted. He grabbed the scarf and pulled and pulled. Waggleby thought it was great fun until... Oh, Boober's scarf tore right down the middle. Boober had Waggleby went flying. While Boober was digging out of the mess, Waggleby went to find something to eat. He followed his nose to a freshly baked carrot loaf, a dish of radish soufflé, and a specially seasoned stew that Boober was saving for dinner. The special seasoning in the stew came from a flava flower. Flava flowers, which are very hard to find, make good irresistible to Fraggles. They make food irresistible to Fraggles. The flowers were what Waggleby spotted next. He was just finishing the last one when Boober found him. That does it, Boober yelled. It took me weeks to find those flowers. Out! Get out of here! Waggleby's tail dropped to the floor with a thud. Then slowly he left the cave. I'm glad Waggleby's gone, I am, said Boober. He's noisy, nosy, germy, and he makes a mess of everything. Boober looked at his empty flower jar. How will it ever find another Flava flower? They bloom once every 3 years. Boober picked up his laundry and began to wash it furiously. He felt better when he had finished and went to mix up a batch of radish rolls. The cave creature had better not darken my doorstep again, he said, if he knows what's good for him, Boober muttered. The next thing Boober knew, he was up in the air, then down on the floor. Boober ran to see what happened. A rumbling noise was coming from the cave of 3 corners. Great grogs of fire, yelled Boober. When he got there, a huge pile of rocks blocked the entrance to the cave. Sticking out at the bottom was the tip of a yellow tail. It figures, thought Boober, thump, thump, with the tail weakly. For a moment, Boober considered leaving Waggleby there. Then he thought better of it and began to unpile the rocks one by one. Oh, there he's stuck. Swoof, swoof, barked Waggleby. When he was free, he dropped a Flava flower at Boober's feet. Boober could hardly believe it. Waggleby had found another Flava flower. Boober carefully picked up the flower and took it back to his cave. He put it on the jar of water. Instantly, more flowers grew. Ah, said Boober, once again my amazingly delicious dishes will become truly incredible. Boober mixed 3 flower petals in with some radish jam. Then he spread the jam on the warm rolls he had just baked. As if by magic, Gobo, Wembley, Moki, and Red appeared. What is that magnificent aroma, Boober? Asked Moki. Oh, just a little something I threw together, answered Boober. These are great, said Red, as she finished her 7th roll with jam. Swoof, swoof, barked Waggleby. Why don't you ask Waggleby to have some? Moki said. He sounds hungry. Boober jumped up to guard the door. Absolutely, positively, most definitely. Swoof, swoof. Waggleby barked as sweetly as he knew how. Boober ignored him. As I was saying, Boober continued, absolutely, positively, most definitely, no. Swoof, swoof. Waggleby cried again. Oh, come on, Boober, said Red. Never, said Boober. Waggleby is the most impossible creature I have ever met. Then he remembered the flower that Waggleby had given him. He stopped to think. It was a difficult decision. Finally, Boober made up his mind. Listen, Waggleby, Boober said, if you try not to be noisy, and try not to be nosy, and try not to be germy, and try not to make a mess of everything, then... Waggleby was inside, eating warm rolls with jam in the time it takes to say 5 Fraggle friends. Thump, thump, thump. Silly Waggleby. He's so cute.